So I've had lots of ideas on how dominants can build confidence within themselves, but your submissive, if you are in a relationship, can really help with building confidence. So today I have 5 tips on how submissives can help their dominant build confidence. Hey guys, it's Morgan with BDSM Relationships and Education. Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and give me a like on this video if you enjoy it. It really helps me out. I also want to let you know that my next book on medical themes is in pre-order for the ebook. There is no pre-order for the text, like the physical copy of the book, but it will be available on May 1st. So kind of exciting. Woo! So in a DS relationship, a dominant submissive relationship, both partners need to support each other and help each other out. So in this video, we're going to talk about different ways that the submissive can help the dominant. So dominants hold the authority in their relationships, but that doesn't mean that they all start out like perfect right away. A lot of us need to learn through experience. We need to do a bit of trial and error, and it takes a little while to build the confidence that we need to be a totally amazing kick-ass dominant. And I don't know that we ever get there. We're always learning. So for the subs out there, just so that you know, a little cheerleading and encouragement on your part can make a world of difference to a beginner or a more experienced dominant. So number 1, please remember that dominants are not mind readers. We don't know what you want unless you tell us. We can't look into your eyes and just know, despite what some people may say. Those people tend to be fantasists, and if they actually get out into the real world and assume that they just know, they end up in a lot of trouble, and there are court cases going on right now because of stuff like that. So you need to communicate. I know negotiation seems weird and awkward at first, especially if you're both new and you don't know what you're doing, but it's important. You need to be able to talk about what you want and what you don't want, because if you don't, we don't know. So if you have this great fantasy, you have to tell us. And I know in the fantasy, the dominant just knows, but fantasy is not reality. So you need to let us know what you're looking for. You always have to be honest, especially with your feelings. So, I mean, positive, negative. Nobody really wants negative feedback, but it helps us learn and it helps us grow. So, and if you didn't like something and you don't say so, then maybe we'll do it again, and then you have to endure it a second time or a third or a fourth, and maybe it's our favorite thing ever. You're in for a lot of it unless you speak up and say, hey, this isn't working for me. So just remember, always be honest and expect honesty in return. So number 2 is offer practical support to your partner. So if there's a type of play that you really want to try, but neither of you know anything about it, look up, do some research, and share that with your partner. Offer to find classes in the area or find a teacher and then go and do that. And that way you can both go to the class or the workshop. This is a great way to, build that bond between the two of you. You can always look up pictures or videos of things that you find hot, that you think your partner might find hot, and share those so that they know at least an idea of what you're interested in. You still have to talk about it, but at least it's a good way to sort of, break the ice there. And it can also, help them know what they need to learn. And again, I really believe that, you can do a lot of help or help them a lot by looking up resources for them and sharing those resources. So number 3 is something that, you would expect we would say to dominants, but not necessarily to submissives, but it really does need to be said. Don't push boundaries. If a bottom or a submissive pushes the boundaries of a top or a dominant, it can really, really mess with our heads, because you have to understand that we are going into something being like, all right, we've always been taught that our relationships should be egalitarian, and now we're saying, no, I want to be in charge. And for a lot of people, that can really, be a tough thing to do. So if we are talking about, a heterosexual relationship where the top is male identified, then he could be saying to himself, like, oh my God, am I being like misogynist here? Or like, am I putting my partner down? Am I being that like typical like douche bro or something? So those are feelings that a lot of male dominants have expressed to me. If you have a female identified dominant, that can be really hard because, women have generally been taught that we should, not be necessarily assertive and take control and all that. When we do that, we get called bitches and, all kinds of worse things that I probably shouldn't say on YouTube. But so it can be really hard to fight against those norms. And if you are in a queer relationship of whatever configuration, you've already broken through that first taboo by being in a queer relationship, but you've got all of those things that could be going on, and a few more. So it can be really tough there. And a new top or dominant might be hesitant at first. They're worried they're going to hurt you. So if you're pushing like, oh, that was nothing, I want a harder scene, or I'm not going to be happy, like obviously I don't think you're going to say that, but if that's the impression you're giving, then and it goes beyond what the top or the dominant is comfortable with, then either you're going to be unhappy or they're going to be in a really uncomfortable place where they're pushing beyond their boundaries and beyond what they think is safe. There's been lots of times where I've had bottoms who want way more than I'm willing to give, and way more than I feel is safe given my skill level or given the activity or whatever it is. So don't push those boundaries, because if you push and something goes wrong, then they're never going to want to do that thing again. That's going to stay with them for like ever. It's probably part of why I don't dig humiliation play, because I've had partners that bug and bug and bug to go further and further and further, and it really just got under my skin. I didn't like it. The odd time you hit a minefield or like a hidden thing, and it sucks. And I don't do that kind of play anymore because people couldn't respect my boundaries, and I don't like it because of that, or partially because of that. There's other reasons as well. Number 4 is to give honest feedback and reassurance. So when we're giving honest feedback, some of that's not always going to be positive. We definitely want to do the positive. Oh, that was great, I loved it, blah, blah, blah. And if you have some negative feedback, that's okay, it's going to happen. But just learn how to approach the situation in a more gentle sort of way. So say, I thought that this was going to be hot, but when we did it wasn't. Either I think that it's better left in fantasy, or I think maybe if we try it this other way. So try to be constructive in your criticism, and just be gentle and understand that this is a scary thing for both people to do. And it's really scary. I don't know how scary it is from the other side of the slash, but from the dominant top side of the slash, it can be a little terrifying because you're really putting yourself out there and making yourself vulnerable. And I know those of you on the submissive and bottom side are like, yeah, you want to talk about vulnerable. So then when you're that vulnerable, it's hard if somebody gives you criticism because it hurts even more. So just be gentle in that criticism. Obviously, you know your partner best. Some of us are just going to want, just be blunt. It's okay. Others are going to want, a little candy coating here and there. I find a good way to do it is to give, a positive, and then had a negative, and then followed up with another positive. So I really like this not so much, but that was great. Kind of go through that order. It helps. I know that sounds so silly, but it does help. We always want to hear, oh wow, that was hot. Can we do more of that if there's something that you particularly like? So definitely give lots and lots of encouragement. And whether that is, and I know that I just told you not to push boundaries, but a good way if you want harder play or more play or something. That was really hot. It would be cool if you did it a bit harder if you're ready or you're comfortable. But I just want to let you know that it was amazing, and I can take more if you want to give more. Is a good way to kind of approach that. And finally, number 5 is to not expect, play or being turned on or that kind of stuff like all the time, nonstop, every moment that you're together, or 24/7 or anything like that, especially in the beginning. it's a lot of work on this side of the slash, and it's hard to be, you know, have enough creative ideas to keep things going. So you do, and especially in the beginning, because you don't know what you don't know, right? So it takes time to build up that repertoire of ideas and just tap into that part of our creativity. So keep that in mind, and don't expect that it's going to be, you know, 24/7 kinky sex all the time. It's going to be amazing. Even people in 24/7 relationships, that's not how it goes. It just means that authority carries over outside of the playroom or the bedroom. But it doesn't mean that we play 24/7. So just something to keep in mind. You know, play all the time, being turned on all the time is simply not realistic. So I hope that is helpful to you guys. That is 5 tips for submissives to help their dominants build confidence. And of course, it would work if you are a top and a bottom pairing, you know, or any other configuration. I think that those are some pretty good tips to help out. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you have any other tips for subs or bottoms to help build confidence for their tops, leave those in the description, or not in the description, in the comments below. Man, you'd think I would have learned by this point in my YouTube career. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.